Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us and welcome to the rock and roll session of TedX Phoenixville. My name is Erin Riley, and I created Rock and Roll After School, a music school for kids ages 7 to 18 located in Collegeville, Pennsylvania. The theme of this TEDx presentation is sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Well, we're using rock and roll to keep kids away from sex and drugs. Let me show you how. Allow me to begin by making a few statements of fact. I'm not going to elaborate or debate on these, as I think most of you will agree, but these are the foundational beliefs that the school is built on. Today's kids spend entirely too much time connected to technology, whether it's video games, social media, or texting. This technological connection is preventing them from building real personal connections. And personal connection skills are essential to becoming a happy and successful adult. So how do we find ways for our kids to learn these interpersonal skills in an increasingly technology-focused world? There are still many ways out there: sports teams, community groups, volunteering. The trick is finding the right fit for each kid, taking into consideration their own personal interests and strengths. When I became a parent, I thought about how to instill in my son values like teamwork, cooperation, listening, and self-confidence. I came back to what I knew best: music. For nearly 40 years, my career has been in various aspects of the music industry. When I think back to what the most exciting part was for me, it was the ability to witness the creative process of some very talented and legendary performers. I learned how these musicians spoke to each other through the musical language of call and response. Music was the language they used to connect to each other, connect to the audience, connect to the world, and most importantly, to connect to themselves. Many of us in this room probably share the common childhood story of the obligatory traditional music lessons we eventually abandoned. All of the focus on scales, finger exercises, and not to mention those wonderful songbooks full of songs no one's ever heard of. This all had value. It's well established that music education supports other learning, especially in the fields of science and mathematics. It just wasn't much fun, and we all eventually quit. And now we wish we could play the piano. But what if it could be? Instead of just learning to play someone else's song, you could learn to write and create your own. Instead of playing some traditional song you never heard of for your instructor, you got to rock out with the other kids. Instead of the stuffy recital where you played your assigned song from lesson book number 3, you got to jam with your band on a song you all created together. And what if, instead of taking lessons in the basement room of the local music store or sitting at Mrs. Ratchet's piano, you went to a lively, colorful place and all your friends were there? That's what I've been doing for the past 5 years. Although the IRS categorizes my business as a music school, the real goal of my music school is not to turn kids into better musicians. It's to help nurture the great happy adult already inside of each one of them. We have received so many thank you letters from parents ranging from, "His grades have improved in school," "She has so much more confidence now," to, "He no longer talks of suicide. You've given him something to live for." Our kids need your help. They need your time and attention, advice and support. They need your love and guidance to grow into happy, confident, and productive people. People say that this generation is the laziest and most apathetic generation ever, but maybe it's because we adults haven't given them enough to be passionate about. I challenge each and every one of you: choose a kid. It could be your own kid, a neighbor's kids, a niece or a nephew, and make a difference. On their next birthday or holiday, please don't give them just another video game or a device. Give them an experience, a book, a science kit, a guitar, or God forbid, maybe even a drum kit, and watch what those kids can do. Thank you.